Hey everybody, today we are going to do a first impressions video, and yes, I have not been on here for a couple weeks, I don't know, and I'll be honest, it's really just laziness, so I thought I need to make a video right now. So we are going to talk about a highly acclaimed game, and that would be Xenoblade Chronicles. This game is really good, so I'm going to talk about that and why I like it so much. Yeah, so let's just get right into it. For starters, I got this game from dustinkreis. He sent it to me because you cannot find this game at all. I got this, I think he sent it to me in November. And it was still kind of like maybe you could find it, but even then, like there were no copies here where I live, and I live in a big city, so really hard to find this game, and now it's virtually impossible. So to give you an example of how rare this game is, new copies go for, like, used copies go for over $100, and new copies are like even $200. And to put that in perspective, this game came out, I believe, last April. So almost a year it's been out, and it's already that much money. So wow, I can't even believe it. It's like Fire Emblem Awakening, same thing, crazy. Especially for a Wii game. But either way, I'm so excited. So this is a first impressions video. I haven't actually been playing it for a little bit just because I've been super lazy and watching Star Trek, but I'm going to get back into it. It's not like I'm stopped playing it, I just really homework and Star Trek pretty much. So yeah, anyway, so I want to do first impressions because this game is great and we're going to talk about why. So I'd first like to go into the story. I put this game in and everybody says this game is like the best thing ever. And I put it in, and the opening scene actually didn't grab me. So I thought, oh no, I don't want to not like this. I want to like it. And I put it in, I'm watching it, and something about it seemed like war-esque, and I just wasn't digging it. And I was like, oh man, damn it. But as I progressed, that was just the opening scene, and you get to see everything about it. But I really like this game. So as you get into the story, I'm really liking it. I actually just realized you can play the game in Japanese, and usually when I can play games in Japanese, I would like to play them in Japanese, because if they're from Japan and use anime art style, I'd rather play it sort of in the language of the country it's from. But I didn't know that until like 5 hours into the game, so whatever. So I am playing it in English, but I do like the voice acting, so to me, whatever. I think the voice acting is really cool, and the voices are really well done. Nobody is annoying in it, so that is a nice change from a lot of video games that have really shitty voice acting. But yeah, I really like the story. I like the main character a lot. Shulk, he's really cool. And so far, I can't say anything bad about it. So I don't really want to go too much in depth into the story. I mean, this is just first impressions. I've really barely touched anything. I've played, I think I'm 13 or 14 hours into the game, which is nothing because I know people who have put like over 100 hours into this game. Now, to be fair, I'm not a side quest person at all. Ni no Kuni, I just finished that. I didn't do any side quests. I'm just not into it. It's just not for me. So I don't think I will be putting 125 hours into this like I know some people have, because they've done like every side quest. So for me, I am a bare minimum kind of person. I just want to play through the story. I don't really have an interest to do a side quest unless it just comes up. Yeah, no interest in side quests. That could change, but I'm not going to play it that way. But I am really enjoying the story. It's super cool. But to be honest with you, the story's really grabbing me. But what's really grabbing me, which I never thought it would, is the battle system. I'm all about story. So if the battle system, I don't know, it doesn't, certain ones I like over others, but I'm really liking the battle system in this game. So for starters, this game, like instantly when I started playing, because I didn't look into anything about this game. So just so you know, I have watched a couple reviews and like sort of trailers, but I really didn't look up anything to do with this game. So I'm playing it, and I'm noticing your health replenishes after every battle. Unlike, that is, to me, like, I haven't played every game out there, but that is a sort of a rare thing to me. That's not usually typical. Usually, if a character dies, they'll have like 1 HP after a battle, or they're just permanently dead, and you'll have to go to a hospital or do something, or have like a phoenix down or something to revive them. Or if your person, loses half their HP, they lose half their HP and you have to use a potion. So what's really cool about this is that your HP just replenishes. This is like, whoa, I felt like I was playing like a first person shooter where if you kind of hide in a bush for a while, your HP goes back up. And I've never really seen that in RPG, and I was like blown away. This was so exciting to me because after a really tough battle, your HP just goes up to 100%. So that really exciting about that. I really like the battle system. I like just that it's real time. I'm really digging the real time, to be honest. I know turn-based is very standard, and for RPGs, I do like turn-based. I'm not going to say I don't. And I haven't dabbled into strategy RPGs or tactical RPGs. I did buy Fire Emblem Awakening, and I'll show that in a pickups video another time. But, so that will be my first entry into that type or subgenre of RPG. But I've never, like, the whole real-time battle system, I'm really loving it. And I'm just so stoked because it's not at all what I expected. I didn't look into anything for this game. So I'm playing it going like, why don't I have, like, what's going on here? Why don't I have, potions and all these Phoenix Downs and ethers and blah, blah, blah. Everything just replenishes. So I thought, hey, I'm down for this. So I'm really, really stoked on that. One other neat thing about this game is that there's sort of a you could see into the future kind of aspect. So if a boss is about to do like a really big attack, it sort of gives you time. So you see into the future, and basically your job is to change that future. So you see a boss, like some dinosaur, and it's going to, I don't know, do this really hardcore attack, and it'll actually show the future. It'll show your, I don't know, another person in your party, like Ryan or whatever, and it'll show him dying, and you're like, oh god, so you have to change it. So you can either warn him, or you can basically put like a protection type spell, and then it will not kill him, and you'll change the future. So that's a huge part of this game, is that with the Monado, which is the weapon of the game, you can actually change the future. So I think that's pretty neat, and I've never seen that. Another neat thing that I've never seen before. But yeah, very interesting, interesting premise, where you, I don't know, I really like it, and I'm not going to say tons about it because I feel like I don't know enough to say. I mean, I get the gist of the story and stuff, but it seems to be like very unique. And this is the kind of thing where I don't want to go into too much because I actually don't want to spoil too much, because I feel like I didn't really know anything about the game, and that made it better. So if you're watching this and you own Xenoblade Chronicles and you still haven't played it, I'm not trying to spoil anything, or really go into it, because finding out kind of what it was about was actually kind of neat without knowing anything. I don't know, I mean, yeah, it's about saving the world and stuff, but like every other RPG, but it uses something else that's kind of neat and different that I've never seen before. So I'm totally loving that. Other stuff that I really like about the game, the graphics. I have to say, I just played Ni no Kuni, and once I went from Ni no Kuni to Xenoblade Chronicles, I have to say it was kind of like, oh, damn it, because now I'm playing a Wii game, and it doesn't look as crisp, and that was kind of disappointing. However, for a Wii game, this game looks amazing, and there's so much in this game. Like, it's huge. This game is, like, massive. I mean, I don't want to say it's, like, Skyrim massive. I mean, kind of is. But what I like it because, you're in, like, a town area, and there's just so much. And I'm not usually, like, an exploration side quest person, but something about it is totally gorgeous. And so at first, when I first put it in after playing Ni no Kuni, I was like, oh, man, because Ni no Kuni looked amazing. Like, it does. It looks great. And then you put this in and you're like, oh, it was just such a downgrade. But it's actually not. Somehow I got over it, and it's totally, like, I'm not saying somehow I got over it. It does look good. But after playing a, gorgeous PS3 game like Ni no Kuni, it was sort of like, ah. But it looks great. I mean, there's so much in this game. Like just walking through a field, it actually does look gorgeous. So I will say the graphics do look good, but they aren't up to the standard. So I have to say, to some extent, I mean, what would this game have looked like if it were on, you know, Xbox 360 or PS3? So that, I mean, it's almost like a too bad, because it would have just been like a cherry on top, because it's like this game is really, really great, and if you had it just like graphics were just a bit better, but you can't have everything, because there's always something in a game you don't like, and this actually isn't something I don't like. I'm just saying that it would be nice to have the graphics a bit more crisp, because it is like from this generation of games, but not a big deal at all. I actually think the game looks fantastic. So the music in this game is fantastic. I really like it. And what's even better is that dustinkreis sent me the soundtrack to it. So I'm really stoked about that, because I'm not far enough into the game where I've heard like every song, and I want to play the game and hear the songs in the game first before I hear the songs just on the CD. But what I've heard so far is really good. I'm really, really liking the music. This is the kind of, like, this is a game where you want to go and listen and check out the soundtrack after, and you really do want to hear it. It's fantastic. I don't know who scored it. I didn't look up the composer's name, but regardless, the music is really good. It totally fits, and there's something that's really catchy about it. I don't know, something is really neat about it. This game, I have to say, when I started playing it, and after I'm like, you know, couple hours in, it's really reminding me of the first time I played Final Fantasy X. And the reason that is a big milestone, I guess, for me, for gaming, is, I know this sounds terrible. I think I may have mentioned this before. Whatever. Final Fantasy X was actually my first Final Fantasy. Not my first RPG, but my first Final Fantasy game. And I remember that game was like, you know, there were commercials all over the place. It was like really, really anticipated game. It looked amazing. In my opinion, it's still one of the best looking PS2 games. And you're like, whoa. When I started playing this, I got that same feeling of like playing Final Fantasy X, where it's like, whoa, I don't know. This game, there's something about it that's unique, and it has a very nostalgic factor. I'm not sure really why. I mean, it's something about it. As I'm wandering around Colony 9 at the start of the game, I'm looking at the way people are dressed in the game, and they're dressed similar to that, where they have a Final Fantasy look, where you're like, only in games do people dress this way. I don't know how to explain it, but if you've played the newer Final Fantasy games, or you've played this or similar RPGs, I think you get it, what I'm talking about. But it's like, there's just a look that they have, and it really gave me this, like, you know, like 10, 12 years ago when I was like playing that game, and I thought, I don't know, it made me feel like I'm checking out this epic RPG, and it was, I don't know, nostalgic feeling. Also, like, I'm not, again, I don't want to go into the story, because I don't want to ruin stuff, but I do have to say, I do like the villains of the game, and I've only 13 hours in, and things could change, and I don't know, but the Mechon are like the bad guys, and I like them a lot. I think it's kind of a neat premise, because, to be honest, I mean, 13 hours into a game like this is kind of just a little dent, so I don't know what's going to happen. There is a part in the game where, I mean, I don't know, something bad could really happen, so, yeah, I really like it, and right now, I have 3 people in my party, and to be honest, I actually don't know, like, will I gain 4 people in my party? Am I going to lose somebody? I don't know, but either way, I'm really, really liking this game. What else? I mean, I did look up some reviews, and it's funny, because they're all the things that I thought of. So, for starters, you can save kind of anywhere. You can be in a dungeon and save. There is no special save sphere you have to find, or a special person you have to find. You can actually save pretty much anywhere, unless you're like in a specific story mode or in the middle of a battle, but you can kind of save anywhere, which is really nice. So that's actually really refreshing. I mean, the fact that I don't have to worry about, after a battle, I'm in like a dungeon, and I don't really want to go out, and I don't have, I don't know, any potions or Phoenix Downs. Doesn't matter. Your health, as you just walk a couple steps, it goes back up. That's great. You can see all the enemies. It's real time. There's no random encounters. So that's really cool. And you can, I mean, there's a couple times I had to run away because I was like, oh shit, I'm not going to win. So that seems to be pretty good. And you just run away until they kind of stop following you. But you can run around and dodge. And for a battle system, this has got to be up there with one of my favorites ever in a game. This is pretty good. I'm really understanding why everybody said this game was like one of the best RPGs of this generation, if not ever. So I totally get it now. Why Xenoblade Chronicles is so good. I don't really know what else to say. I mean, the music is great. The visuals, even though they're not sort of today's standards, but they are actually great. I really like the characters. The story is good. It's never boring where you're like, oh god. I really actually haven't, like, the level grinding I have had to do a bit, and that's frustrating to me, but, because I'm not a huge level grinder person, but, but it's actually not boring. You are wandering around and everything looks pretty, and you're like, no, it's not boring. So, I'm admitting I can't really say, like, go out and grab this game, because you kind of can't. It's really hard to get. But other than that, if you can find this, seriously, it's worth it. It is worth it if you can find it for like $60, $70. Grab this game. I'm running out of time. But anyway, yeah, this game is amazing, and we'll see what I think of it once I get into it a bit more. But those are my first impressions. So I will see you guys later.